And welcome back to episode number 76 of FinalBossTV, your game rating show. My name is Adam KKB, and this is the after show. And someone just snuck in. I don't know who's this guy. That was a perfect transition. Oh my god.
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
I don't know.
Who? You play Hunter too? Apparently, this guy.
He's the other Hunter Midwinter. Look at his shirt.
He's
let me
the.
clear this up. So, I'm
trial.
the new trial of Midwinter. let me just strap this on. I don't know if you can see it.
Hang on, wait. Is this Oh yeah, RB.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Is it reversed?
I can see it. No, it's not reversed.
RogerBrown, RB. There you go.
Me and Roger swap spots. I'm a raid leader of Method now.
just talked it over with Cliper.
It's
okay. In my own little guild.
Oh my goodness. Nice sheets. Nice sheets, Roger. Nice sheet. I like that. It's good. It's good.
There you go. It's my new part of the collection.
Yeah.
Really calms me down during the raids. It's stressful. I just stroke my head.
Oh no! I think I'm done. I'm done with you.
We're
done.
We're done. We're done here.
No more.
We're totally done here. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Well, welcome to the after show, sir. That you could have been on, but couldn't because raid, then can't holiday. And blah.
Yeah. Easter sucks.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, good show though. From a viewer perspective, did you learn something? I think we learned something.
Yeah, I learned that power shot is not that great as I thought.
No.
That was a big shocker.
I still
can't
get
say
over.
It was good for single target survival.
Yeah, but I thought it was like, it was the best overall for everything.
I'm still trying to like wrap my mind around that like exotic missions isn't good. So
you're still trying to figure out maybe I can actually use it on this fight. Maybe
rethink my life choices now.
It's not exotic enough, probably.
What if I'm survival and I take the poison arrows and I tab target auto shoot everything when I'm arcane multi-shot to get no, it's not good.
Nope.
Well, arcane shotting is still good.
Well, no, but not with exotic munitions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's so sad. So sad.
Yeah, it's because actually I remember Azortharion said something about it's really simple, but you can maximize it still. Right. And we were on Blackhand, and there's these demolishers which you might know of, where you run around, and it's still nice. Usually it's Hunter kiting them with. I don't know. Some people like to tank those demolishers. I heard, which is weird.
Yeah.
But it's pretty nice when you're doing all the kiting or just all around movement, and you can still maximize a little bit by tabbing from the demolisher to the boss and back and forth and keeping Serpent Sting up. I remember someone said from our guild that when a demolisher gets out of the gate and they instantly trigger a trap and you just throw one arcane shot, that's like over 200,000 damage just by doing one arcane shot and the whole Serpent Sting.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty good if you try to find these small things you can do.
Now that you're arguing for exotic munitions, because then you'd also put up the dot there too. Is that the whole?
No.
Yeah. Damn it! It can't be. Nope. I'm trying to find a way.
If they had to make that good, they'd have to redesign it.
Crap baskets. Yeah.
I mean, if you have Lone Wolf, you're already doing 30% more, right?
I know. It's just math, man. It doesn't add up.
If only it was like
this math thing. Who needs it?
I know.
The pre-change Lone Wolf when it was just a flat 30%.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's check chat room for questions. If you have questions, please, you can feel free to tweet at FinalBossTV on the Twitters. And all the
do we just sort of go like as we see them, or do we like put them into a thing? Or
oh no, when you see them, if you see someone talking about something, go for it.
I'll try and scroll up a bit then.
El Tabis. How many Cobra shots or steady shots should you be used while trying to regen focus for survival or marksman?
Let's see. How many Cobra shots should be used? Well, only as many as you need, and no more than that.
That's a vague answer. All right, next question. Good.
Well,
Move on.
Press the button. Yeah, focus. Press
I'll
the
elaborate now.
Right.
Like, you only need so many steady / Cobra shots that you need
wrong
to
camera.
do.
You're good. Keep going.
Okay. Do all your like priority abilities on cooldown.
There he is.
Anything more than that is not needed. Of course, you can't just say like, okay, I just have like. That's where Arcane Shot comes into play.
Right.
You use Cobra Shot to get what needs to be done, which is, BM example, kill command on cooldown, barrage on cooldown, and all that kind of stuff. And then anything other than that, you use Arcane Shot for. You can, if you want to make it a bit simple, you can say Cobra Shot all the time, but if you're bound to hit 120 focus or 100 focus for survival, Arcane Shot. So, like... Yeah. Only as much as you need to do your things in cooldown, and no more than that.
Okay. You got something to add, Roger? Go for it.
Yeah. Generally speaking, obviously, you need to see what's coming next. Like, you can't wait for your Black Arrow, or I don't know what spec we're talking about, but obviously
so it was survival and marks. Survival and marks, yeah.
Right. So for survival, if you see that your explosive shot and Black Arrow are coming up, you obviously need to have a certain amount of focus. Well, it's, let's say 50, but you have some passive regen. You kind of get a feeling at some point when you need to Cobra Shot. But you need to make sure that you have enough to just throw those out as soon as they come off cooldown.
Right.
Now, the other thing that you need to think of, which is pretty big, especially for survival, do you have a trinket proc up? So, for example, if you have the Scales of Doom proc or the trinket from Blackhand, what's its name? I don't even know. Blackhand trinket.
Trinket. Humming Iron Trigger, I think is it.
I mean, they have these huge names. I don't know why. Just give them like one name.
That's the Humming Black Arrow in Heart of the Mountain Trigger.
Yeah, like, what is that?
Yeah.
But if you have that trinket at the end of it, where you have like this, the most of it, you might want to throw in that Arcane Shot. Like, for example, imagine you just threw your Black Arrow, you have no explosive shot procs, and you're at 30 focus. Well, sure, you can Cobra Shot for the future, but you might as well use that last bit of your trinket proc to throw in the Arcane Shot, drop down to 0 focus, and then build up again and have enough for your next explosive shot.
Okay.
So trinket procs is also one thing you want to see.
Gara wants to know, with everything being BIS for hunters, which caster trinkets in BRF do you prioritize?
What?
Well, if it doesn't, there's no amplify anything.
Caster trinkets.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Whatever is gonna make the mages more angered.
Whatever we can get by from stealing from other people is what we use. So.
Right. Oh my god. Volt wants to know, is it worth going down in eye level for survival itemization?
In quite a lot of cases, if you can pick up multi-strike by going to a slightly lower item level item, that's worth it.
Wow.
Yeah. If it has multi-strike, because it's just so much of like a leap in terms of like DPS per like a multi-strike, like secondary stat point, that is just, it's worth getting the extra multi-strike.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just like the trinkets as an example, you're foregoing 444 agility, super high crit, last boss, Humming Black Iron Trigger, just to get multi-strike from Highmore.
There he is. That's
so,
interesting.
Yeah, the problem with these questions, to be honest, is that many times you'll have one of the two items that you're considering switching, either Warforged or Socketed, or the tertiary stats that were buffed and are actually decent now.
Right.
So it really is weird. Like, you can't say one one rule for all of that. You kind of need to sim its dilemma by itself.
Dragon Slayer Beast wants to know why so many people are playing survival now and why so many BM. I've seen some nice survival damage now. For example, always listening people. I guess Hunter did 54k on Gruul. I mean, Gruul Beast Lord Maiden survival is really good. I guess I would say from outside in, people playing more survival because Beastmaster was buffed.
I mean, there's still not really a single fight that survival still isn't good for.
Sure.
It's...
The thing is that, like, at a cutting edge progression level, you won't have, like, you'll be missing the burst. And also, the fix that made survival look good in our simulators is pretty recent, which means that basically, and myself included, but the rest of the community's consensus was survival sucks, don't play it. But now that it's sort of been realized, people are actually bothering with the spec and doing decent results with it.
Oh, here's a side question.
I hate you for bashing survival. Stop hating on that spec.
Yeah.
Dude, I enjoy survival.
I love like, if it's a good spec, I'll enjoy it.
Azor like
except survival.
I mean, Roger, do you play survival more often because you find that you can actually just play it and then raid lead at the same time more so than like if you're
exclusively?
Yeah. Is that the thing though? I wonder if that comes into your factorization, that you can kind of like cruise control the spec and still do good damage, but also like pay attention to everything else. Whereas if you were BM, you'd have to like pay attention to even more of your own class.
Well, the thing is that no matter what, when you're actually progressing, you go with the best spec.
Sure.
Now, I even mentioned that on the chat, but when you're on farm, doesn't really matter as much, especially if you're not struggling with some part of a fight where you need to have a different spec. So yeah, I've been basically playing survival. Another thing is that I really don't want to be swapping my gems and enchants every time I want to play a different spec, which sucks. But yeah, survival is definitely easier to play than the other specs in terms of you don't have to think too much about your rotation.
Okay.
So yeah, that's an extra benefit to it. The one thing I wanted to mention though was that some specs have some strengths and you want to abuse those strengths. So for example, I'll give an example. So you have like Blast Furnace for it, okay, and you want to have the sick single target DPS for the Primal Elementalist. Now for us, at least now, especially with the buffs and all of that, the eye level, it's not really that hard to kill the Primal Elementalists. So I think it's even worth it to maximize your AoE, because you still need to kill the ads that spawn during phase 2.
Of course.
So if you are, and that's for all the specs, right? It's not just for hunters or all the classes. You want to maximize what you're best at. So if you can have a spec which does insane amount of AoE or cleave, then play that and let the other classes do better single target. Like, you just have to find a balance.
It's very true. And that comes down to raid comp, right?
Yeah.
All it comes down to raid comp. If you're running with 3 combat rogues on farm, you may not care much about your AoE because Blade Flurry, it depends on your comp. It all comes down to that. Yeah, you got to balance it out. It sticks. I don't know how to pronounce your name, yeah. You asked me a bunch. I have your question. I just didn't get to it. We didn't get to this in the show. Are there any add-ons or UI elements that help hunters a lot that you would recommend that are like thumbs up, A+?
Definitely one I would suggest to a lot of people would be it's basically what it is. It's a focus bar add-on, but it tracks like cooldowns and other stuff. It's called JSHB. It's like a it's something that actually a lot of hunters use, like myself included. It's basically you can track your focus bar, and you can also allow it to track like your cooldowns and kind of uptimes on stuff. And then it does like a lot of stuff. Like it tracks when you need to like trank shot something, or announces when you have like Fox up, and then it can do a lot of stuff, really.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of a hunter's suite for like a bunch of different things, and it checks the most important things, which is your ability cooldowns, your current focus, and I think it checks buffs as well. Like this, you only want to
so.
track buffs that actually change how you play, such as Beastie Wrath. Like, so tracking your buffs is important as well. And I guess weak auras, but I think you can mention weak auras for almost anything
Any class,
ever.
Yeah, either weak auras or tell me when, depending on which you prefer. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm in the weak aura camp.
Let's check Twitter real quick.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Roger.
as you're doing that, the one thing which I actually don't know how people do it. Like, I'm actually amazed when I see someone play like that, and I'm like, how you do that? Is, for me, I need to have the focus bar in the middle of my screen. Like, I cannot be playing the game, watching my feet, watching the encounter, and then have to move my eyes to my unit frame, which is might be some people have it on the top left, some people have it on the bottom left. Doesn't matter, but I want to have my focus bar in the middle of my screen, and I also progress that to have my main abilities like explosive shot, black arrow, etc., in the right there. So I try not to hide too much of my screen, but I need those in the middle. And I'm actually amazed when I see other people who don't have that. Then again, it's how you're getting used to playing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
part of he's like from another planet with that UI.
I don't know how he does it. Honestly, it's a miracle. But wait,
He's a special
I want to say one thing. Oh yeah, one thing about the aspect of the fox. I don't know if it's mentioned, but well, I guess it's kind of like macros. If you have multiple hunters in a raid, and you want to chain foxes, for a good example is on Kromog, right? Kromog, you have those pillar phases where you need to constantly move because there's spikes coming out of the earth, and you want to use all your aspects of a fox there. Now, if you have an aspect of a fox on already, and you want to use your second one, you can't actually use it if you already have the buff. And that means that you have to wait for it to drop off and then cast it. But you can have a macro which, removes the previous one and you cast it still. And that way you can chain it for your whole guild so you don't interrupt the cast. So, I mean, it's more macro than UI, but still I think it's something nice.
Is that not only applies for you, you can't cast it when you already have Aspect of the Fox, but if you cast it and everyone else has 1 second left, it just gives them the full duration again? Okay. I wanted to confirm that's what you were going at. Yeah, it refreshes the full duration. Cool. So they never lose it. So like a healer's not mid-heal, and all of a sudden they can't heal anymore when they're moving. Okay, yeah.
They'll really yell at you if you like hit it the second fox like 0.1 seconds after the first one.
Because it interrupts.
And the cast all get interrupted. They hate
just
you.
trolling the entire raid, basically. That's how that works.
Right.
Yeah.
People really want to know about RogerBrown's Midwinter shirt. He's just wearing it because he has one.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
why not?
I mean, it's nice. It's comfy.
It's nice.
Why wouldn't you wear a Midwinter t-shirt?
Quality shirts.
Yeah,
quality.
exactly.
Yeah. So he needs a Midwinter shirt on, like a Danish Terrace, necklace or wristband or something, or
I'll get on that.
Sounds like Azor's got some
Oh yeah. I didn't show the rest. I think the stream, but I even switched my wristband to the Alliance side. I guess you can see it.
Yeah.
Just because we're all Alliance here. I don't want to stare at any.
I think you're out of the loop. Midwinter went Horde. They're called Midsummer now.
Midsummer.
Oh,
your shirt's outdated now. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Jokes on
it
you
ain't
guys.
easy being Alliance crew.
So it's a reversible shirt, the Midwinter, the Midsummer guild logos on the inside. Jokes on you guys.
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Flip the t-shirt around.
Sweet Deal on Twitter wants to know: is it true to only use concentrated fire often, or only at 5 stacks? I don't know what spec that's for. Concentrated fire.
It's focus fire. It's used in a bunch of different situations because it's so powerful. So like right before you go into a big red pet, aka Beastie Wrath, you want to pop it regardless of your amount of frenzy stacks. Similarly, you want to use it at any amount of stacks during Stampede because Stampede is, damn son.
Hashtag damn son.
Damn son. And if like an AoE phase in the fight is coming up, or another, like if an Elementalist is coming up, regardless of your stack count. Although, like for an Elementalist, you probably want to save 5 stacks, but if that's not possible or whatever, then you still want to drop all of your stacks to do as much damage as possible in a short period of time. Damn son.
Dams.
Can we get a soundboard in here?
Can we get a soundboard for Azortharion real quick? Can we get that in there?
Oh god.
Oh, chat room says we need Danish Terrace Viking helmets. I'd wear
Yeah, okay.
that.
Yeah, I think necklace, that's not
No, definitely a Viking.
satisfactory for them.
It has to be one that goes over the headset too, so I can like have the headset on and the Viking helmet.
Yeah.
Well, Falcon, my thought with the necklace is that it'd be like since they're Vikings, it'd be like fingers and dragon horns and teeth and ears and stuff from your conquest. That's what I was going for.
Exactly. Danish, you know, culture and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. I'm not sure I understand. Well, so Carl Martin comes in on Twitter and says, does the randomness of BM hurt the performance of it, even though it sims nice?
From a progression standpoint, not a lot, because the RNG in BM lies in the fact that the rate at which you generate frenzy stacks is generally random. Frenzy stacks are generated by basic attacks, and there's a 40% chance for each basic attack that you're gonna get a stack of it. So of course this makes it RNG, but you can sort of eliminate this RNG part of it in a progression sort of encounter by, you know, letting it go to 5 and then sitting on those 5 stacks. Not for too long, of course. That's just like huge waste of DPS, but just like a little, so you can use it on a high priority target.
Okay.
But of course, like if you're just like hitting Gruul, your DPS is gonna vary a lot.
Yeah.
Like from week to week, depending on, like that's not the only RNG. Of course, there's the set bonus, chance of resetting a big red pet's cooldown. So like combining that with frenzy proc RNG, especially on top of Stampede and the Beastie Wrath, that's gonna make it a very like, oh my god, I can do 60k DPS if I get really lucky. Next week I'll do 45.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, can I say the big difference between Beast Mastery and Survival, which is why I also like Survival, is you have...
Here it comes.
Okay, so in BM, you have this RNG, which is, you know, your 2-piece, you can reset your Bestial Wrath, but you have the power, right? You press your kill command, and that's what determines it. But with Survival, you just throw on the black arrow, and then it's up to chance, right? So you don't get as angry because you're like, oh man, if Bestial Wrath just resets right now, this is so great, and then you press it and you're disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's only you, right? You didn't press it good enough.
Whereas, like every kill command, every 6-second kill command cooldown cycle is like, oh my god, it's coming, it's like, oh, no. And there's 6 minutes again of just, can I get it? No. It's
a disappointment. It's a disappointment on a 6-second cooldown. It's just not good.
It's like the difference between like being like pissed off on a pull where you're like, man, I didn't get a single Beast of Wrath reset, and the next one you're just like so happy because it just like resets like 5 times in a row. You're like, I'm doing so much damage.
Oh, I did that on Flamebender today. It was pretty glorious.
Yeah.
5 resets in a row.
Yeah, it was the same with Microchip in Heimol, where especially in Heimol because you didn't have as good gear. So if you got the Thrill of the Hunt procs, it was amazing. So like... every time you threw the 3rd aimed shot of your Thrill of the Hunt procs, and you got a new Thrill of the Hunt proc, it was yes. But then you would have this pool. I remember I still have I think some fraps or a butcher kill of a butcher attempt before we killed it the first time, where my Thrill of the Hunt did not proc for the first 1.5 minutes or something stupid. I was just doing nothing for the whole fight. So, yeah. There's disappointments in every single spec. You can rest assured.
When you're trying to get... Is this something I can show on stream?
Yeah.
It's just Azor being Azor with lucky procs.
What fight is this?
This Flamebender.
So, it's really small. I thought it was a bigger image, but it's 11 Bestial Wrath procs on Flamebender. What's the kill time?
You're looking
4 minutes.
4 minutes? Oh my god!
It's normally
really the uptime. The 43% uptime is what it's.
Yeah. Also, that I got 5 in a row, and it landed like right on top of the wall.
Yeah, you can see
with 5
stacks.
You
can see it.
You can see the bar right there. It's almost like a perfect line.
Yeah. Jeez.
Damn.
It's pretty good. Rank 3.
Rank 3, pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
pretty good skill game.
Yeah. Right.
It's alright. I had like a rank 1 on Chromag because I was patting pretty hard, and I had it for like 3 days.
Do the three of you do any crazy hunter soloing at all? Twitter
No.
question came in.
No.
I haven't even delved in that a little bit. I sometimes
There's
follow
only-
like Shoot and others who are like
Shoot.
world champions and that.
Say Shoot was probably like the one you kind of like. I mean, it's always kind of been a thing. Like hunter soloing's always kind of like been there and kind of been like a thing, but it's not really someone anybody was like really focused on per se.
Interesting. Because there was a question about what do you guys think of the soloing currently? I guess we can't answer that question.
Haven't done it since like Wrath, to be honest. I don't know.
I guess not. We gotta bring Shoot on.
Yeah.
He was down here earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, there's Solar. Solar's here. Can't forget him. The Solar life. Get it?
Yeah.
I did there.
Got a couple time for a couple more questions here. Hairtog wants to know, can you explain why you recommend a Fox just before the first petrifying slam on Mythic Gruul? Because I would assume everyone is spreading out for the petrification, so you can still cast the move.
To be honest, it's not even about. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But no, go ahead.
Well.
No, you go. No, you
sorry.
go. Yeah.
So much love in the hunter community. All right, so the reason why it's important, it's not even about spreading out as much. It's the initial knockback, which is like 2-second knockback.
Ah.
And it's especially annoying if you're a caster. If you're mid-cast and you get the Petrifying Slam and it interrupts your first cast and then you're not casting for 2 seconds, and even if you stand still afterwards, you know, well, someone has to move, but it's really the annoying part is the knockback. And that's why it's important to use it before the knockback even happens and not right as you get the knockback, because that's like 10 casts interrupted throughout the guild, the raid. But,
the reason... Sorry?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's a fast cast, and if you have good internet like me, then you probably want to precast it, so you see the timer and precast it.
Interesting.
Yeah, the reason it's the first one is just so you can do it at a later point in the fight as well. Yeah, because the fight is usually above the 3-minute cooldown of Fox.
Yeah, you can only get 2 off the whole fight. Yeah,
it's just to get a tiny bit more damage. And of course, there's a usage for it in phase. The second phase, or like the intermission kind of phase where he does the slams repeatedly. But the thing is, at a knockback, there's a million casts being interrupted, whereas casters can usually work around the constant slams a bit better. And it might actually, like, on a scale of like how many casts you can get through by focusing the knockback versus the intermission phase, it might actually favor the knockback.
Yeah, unfortunately,
because you can't really play around it.
The kill times are annoyingly just below the 5-minute mark, so you cannot stampede twice, at least for our guild nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is really, really frustrating.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier today. Like, Stampede really benefits from having 2 and having like a 6-minute fight, so the fight ends right after. It's the same thing I deal with elemental cooldowns. So, like, getting 1 5-minute cooldown is bad, but getting 2 and the fight ending shortly after your second is really good. Yeah,
that's the best.
The fight dies, like, as your fire elemental number 2 dies, you're like, yes! But
it's kind of like the same thing with, like, Iron Juggernaut back in Siege. Is like, generally the boss died, like, just before you got a second Stampede off.
Oh my god.
So, Volt wanted to know what spec for single target benefits most from 6+ minute fights. I think you guys all said, like, the best single target spec's probably still Marksman, right?
Well, I'd say on a... It's really close between Beast Mastery and Marksmanship.
Okay.
But Beast Mastery doesn't have a movement penalty, while Marksmanship does.
And this
closeness is in Sims primarily. 6 minutes plus means that you get a second... I don't know, it's like 6 minutes to 14 minutes, or if it's like 6 to 7 minutes. If it's 6 to 7 minutes, BM is probably still gonna win, because it barely just right about gets a second Stampede, which is sort of a game changer. When we got the eye level buff recently and Gruul kill times went below 5 seconds, there was actually a lot of marksmanship
5
passes up
seconds?
there. Or 5 minutes. There's a
5
5
minutes. Yeah.
There's a difference. What?
What? Yeah.
It's basically the same.
Yeah.
No, 5 minutes. The Stampede cooldown, of course.
Mm. Interesting. For Beast Mastery, do you delay your beast within procs till the current one is over, or just spare them as soon as they come up, even if you're currently in Bestial Wrath?
Delay.
No, don't not overlap them.
Because they don't. I would assume that self buffage wouldn't pandemic at all. I think that's what the backward question of that is. If you just extend the duration, but no, it's like a full on cooldown. You want to just chain them together, not overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you want to
would-
squeeze in. All right, you go this time.
All right. Basically,
So much to talk about.
you wouldn't say in your first kill command within a Beast of Wrath, it resets the cooldown, and then you would. So you would reset Beast of Wrath, and then you accidentally pop it again. There's 4 or 5 seconds of Beast of Wrath uptime you just missed out on, because it's the new one replaces it. So you basically just started over fresh.
Right, you just wiped away what you already had going.
Yeah.
With how Bestial Wrath works, it's usually the recommended way to handle it is you generate a lot of focus right before you go into Bestial Wrath. But of course, if you're gonna chain them, that's gonna be an issue because you just spend 10 seconds burning a lot of focus. So what you can do, and especially with steady focus, because the idea is to refresh that right before Bestial Wrath as well, because it affects the pet and boosts pet damage, and it stacks with Bestial Wrath. And then if you sort of in the final seconds of the first Bestial Wrath that you do, after you've got a reset, you spend those dual copering, both to get to an acceptable focus level and also getting steady focus up again for the next Bestial Wrath, because the buff uptime of both of them is 10 seconds per. So you kind of want to overlap those as much as possible to get the most pet damage stacked on top of steady focus.
Yeah, and last thing is
Go
that
ahead.
you obviously want to have the 2 kill commands in the Bestial Wrath. So if you chain it, imagine you kill command and then you instantly use the Bestial Wrath that you just resetted, then you're only going to get 1 kill command in that second Bestial Wrath. Plus, you might want to also, depends on your timing and everything, but you can even throw a barrage. You need to think of that as well. Yeah, don't chain them, basically. It's not good.
Cyrun 117, is it worth playing survival with BM gear? We went through the difference in gemming and enchanting and gear stat priority in the main show. So if you missed that part, you can hear the rantage on YouTube. You can check that. Because that was 20 minutes of stat talk. It was a lot of talk.
Someone else asked, actually, I guess can speed over it a bit, whether itemization matters for the specs. It only really matters for survival because multi-strike is so powerful. For the other specs, all the stats are pretty good. So if you want to go survival as a main spec, have a lot of multi-strike, you're actually going to need it. For the other specs, it's fine. It's got this.
Yeah,
really,
multi-strike's the one universal... Multi-strike's the one universal stat between the 3 specs, really.
Yeah.
So.
We'll take I's question. Do you always want to have focus around 60 to 70 during fights, or just use focus as it comes, or as they come?
Well, I don't necessarily agree with the idea of having X amount of staying around X amount of focus. But sometimes, if you're new to it, especially trying to hover around a safe level, as in a level where you always have the focus required to do abilities when they come up, is a good idea. But normally, I guess optimally, your focus is gonna go up and down very rapidly and very quickly. You're gonna generate a lot, and then you're gonna spend it on arcane shots, and you're gonna spend it on kill commands and barrages. Then you're gonna regenerate. You always kind of want to fill gaps between kill commands and explosive shots and chimera shots. So that the spread of steady / cobra shots and arcane shots adds up to be exactly the time between when you want to use the ability. So there's no dead time. You want to fill out every second.
Yeah, plus, I mean, if you're playing with focusing shot, There's no way you're gonna stay at 60, 70 focus, because then if you cast the focusing shot, you're gonna go over the cap.
You're
so
wasting
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
which is actually annoying, by the way. I might say that survival is basically the only spec you're gonna play focusing shot with,
Right.
generally speaking,
Mhm.
and it's the spec that doesn't have 120 focus cap. It's really annoying. I wish
Mhm.
there was, you know, an extra bit of wiggle room so you don't waste focus, because sometimes you can't really help it. You sometimes have to cast a focusing shot to have a smooth rotation, and you're losing like 10, 20 focus.
It's like the same thing with RNG proc on like lock and load, where you could have like just cast a focusing shot and then got like a good lock and load proc, and then you're not really using like in your actual focus using abilities because you're just spamming an explosive shot. So you're just sitting there at cap. So
Yeah.
Right.
Cap is bad, yo.
Well, since
Yeah.
Roger didn't get a Hunter soapbox time before we end the after show, do you have any soapbox stuff you want to give to the Hunter community? Tips and tricks, and when to use power shot to knock things out of blade storms? Anything?
I don't know. I think actually, okay, to bring it back to the basics, right? I remember when I was first in Method, and there was this hunter called Cliperlol back then, who was a big deal, and he made some videos of, you know, hunter stuff, and I remember one of his videos was how to optimize your DPS, and was a bunch of stuff about keyboards and all of that. And what Azortharion said about use like, okay, so Cliperlol said maximizing your DPS is maximizing your globals, so how many abilities you use, and maximizing how much damage those abilities do. So first off, you need to use your globals. You cannot have dead times where you don't do anything. And that's, you know, depending on your positioning, on how fast you tab target, all of that stuff. And yeah, also the pet, you need to make sure that it's on the target. So that's the first thing, and then it's maximizing the damage that those abilities do. So have some way to track your trinkets, your bloodlust, all of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's just the most basic thing you need to know about. And if you can manage that, you're good to go.
That video is like the greatest thing ever. I was like a huge fanboy of Cliperlol back in the days.
Is that the reason why you started World of Warcraft?
The truth comes out.
I think it was at least an inspiration to begin with all the theory crafting and the deeps, stuff.
Gotcha.
Basically, just bind everything to everything and just hit everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, and just make a UI. I don't know what you guys are using, but make a UI that makes sense, right? So you might be used to something, but I know change is hard. It's for everyone. It's hard to change. Especially for me, I remember I had Cobra Shot or Steady Shot on number 2 or something, and then I switched it to number 3. Or wait, what am I using even now? Anyways, so I switched it over, right?
Yeah, you barely read it in your rotation. Like, it doesn't matter.
I don't even know my own keybinds. I just hit buttons.
It's just
instinct.
my fingers move. Yeah, it's like I'm a
muscle memory. A
pianist where the fingers just go by themselves. You just. All right. Anyways, but you change that, and then it takes you like a month to really get used to it, right? But if you're like no add-ons, no nothing, really basic UI, just try to make something that makes sense for you, and then you'll get used to it no matter what. So if you feel like, I'm not tracking when my Beastie Wrath resets, and I don't have it somewhere nice, and I catch myself sometimes missing when it procs, and I waste some times of it. Then make something for it, and then you'll get used to it eventually. UI is like 50% of the game. That's what I always say. So, yeah, there you go.
It is, and it's comfortable to what you're working with and whatnot. But yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you're on that level, like we talked about that today too. If you're not like new into logging, you can go check out like a more graphical, simpler version. But if you're not into the realm of using weak auras to tell me whens, or proc watching stuff, or things that can make you know what's happening to your character, then there's just steps to change is scary, but it'll eventually be second nature to you. So, yep. All right, it's button time for the second round, gentlemen.
Alrighty.
Thank you all for tuning in. The after show for episode number 76 for Hunters of Draenor. Of course, if you missed the main show, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Both these will go up, and they'll be annotated. They'll be up on YouTube on Monday around 4 p.m. Eastern or so. Around the table, our guests totally not crashing, but joining the after show randomly. There's RogerBrown. He's in this guild Method. They do things. You can go follow Roger on Twitter at MethodRoger.
Hello. Nice to be here. It was a great show before I joined. Got a bit worse when I came over.
Oh, but the sheets, though, Roger. They carried the show.
Thanks for helping me.
The sheets, though.
The sheets, though, man.
Yeah.
That was a pleasure, man. I think you're just trying to weasel in so you make sure you're like the #1 guested person on the show. I think that's what you want, right? That's what you
want. Oh, okay. Well,
I think you're there.
Is there at least?
I have no idea.
So when's the next Hunter episode?
Yeah.
#1 at everything.
Exactly. We had Clipper LOL from Midwinter. You can go follow him on Clipper LOL on the Twitters. You can go watch him do things and bother him on there.
Yeah.
Yep. With the double Midwinter shirts, though. Double Midwinter shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
they're comfortable.
Outside the loop.
Thanks for being on the show, buddy. It was good. Good stuff. And then Azortharion on Twitter with a Z at the end. And then his guides are up on Zzz. Yeah. You can find his guides up on summonstone.com when that all gets put together. Are you dancing for us? That's pretty good. I like it.
Azor can't dance. Stop.
I'll just stick to huntering or whatever.
Yeah, just think the huntering. So we'll see you next week again, guys. It's going to be either a tank episode next week, either Prot Warriors or Guardian Druids, depending on scheduling. Twitter and Facebook have more information about that. If you have questions for either one, send them in now. Link is down below on our new website. It's nice and clean. It looks like a website now, not a blog. But we'll see you then. Have a great one. We'll see you in the YouTube comments. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.
Hunters.
Feign out of the episode. Feign.
Gotta run our final commercial.